Okay. Tell us why. Tell us why.
Because he's a sex trafficker. And he's
Okay.
using music and entertainment to sex traffic.
That's how he operates. He has people followed. He has people watched. He does all kinds of. He's a piece of shit.
Too much money.
I feel bad for the kids.
In her revelatory interview, dubbed a bombshell moment, Jaguar Wright shed light on the Hollywood elite's clandestine practices, implicating various members. Among the accused, Diddy stands out as a purported facilitator for these elites. The gravity of such claims, alleging trafficking and occultic activities, might initially appear exaggerated. However, when considering the legal action initiated by Diddy's ex Cassie, accusing him of reprehensible deeds, Jaguar Wright's assertions gain an air of credibility that many overlooked. So, what precisely did Jaguar Wright disclose about Diddy, and what unfolds in Cassie's lawsuit against him? If delving into the intricate layers of this Diddy saga intrigues you, settle in as we unveil the intricate details. During her interview with Real Life Production, Jaguar Wright not only accused Diddy of trafficking for Hollywood elites, but also depicted unsettling scenes of peculiar gatherings where intimacy and money exchanged hands freely, with alleged repercussions for those attempting to unveil the truth. Accusing someone of such grave deeds is serious, especially when the target is as influential as Diddy, turning such statements into a proverbial target on one's back. However, Jaguar Wright seemingly remains undeterred, unafraid of the repercussions. Perhaps it's because her claims bear a ring of truth. Diddy's history of leveraging his wealth and influence to create turmoil for those in his orbit is well documented, and Jaguar Wright spared no details in exposing this. In the bombshell interview, she made disturbing accusations against Diddy, alleging that he abused his authority as the head of Bad Boy Entertainment. She claimed he subjected staff and aspiring artists to perform intimate acts solely to gratify his ego. One particularly unsettling anecdote involved a female lawyer within Bad Boy Entertainment who confided in Wright. This lawyer, on her way to a promising career, was left traumatized after accidentally witnessing Christopher Williams engaging in intimate acts with Diddy in exchange for a demo deal. Jaguar, mindful of protecting the lawyer's identity, described her as a brilliant professional who anticipated a flourishing career, only to be traumatized by an unexpected encounter that forced her to leave the company. However, the lawyer's distress pales in comparison to the harrowing experiences detailed in Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy. Filed on November 16, the lawsuit paints a picture of over a decade of alleged harassment, assault, and control inflicted upon Cassie by Diddy. And that's just scratching the surface. In 2022, during the BET Awards ceremony, where Diddy was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award, he delivered a heartfelt speech expressing gratitude to those who had supported him throughout the years, including Cassie. He commended Cassie for being a pillar of support, but behind the scenes, disturbing revelations unfolded. According to court documents, Cassie, referred to as Ms. Ventura in the legal proceedings, endured a harrowing ordeal marked by abuse, violence, and allegations of sex trafficking orchestrated by Diddy. The disturbing incidents outlined in the legal records depict a troubling pattern of mistreatment towards Ms. Ventura. This includes physical assault such as punches, beatings, kicks, and stomping, resulting in visible injuries such as bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. The documents further detail destructive actions by Diddy, such as vandalizing a man's car after discovering his romantic interest in Ms. Ventura, coercing her into engaging in sexual activities, and wielding a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive. Additionally, Diddy allegedly compelled Ms. Ventura to carry a firearm in her purse, creating a constant sense of discomfort to showcase his perceived. He also introduced her to a lifestyle marked by excessive alcohol and substance abuse, requiring her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. The lawsuit, containing such distressing revelations, bore a trigger warning on its front page, a rarity even for seasoned lawyers accustomed to witnessing grim and dark aspects of cases. Notably, Cassie and Diddy's relationship traces back to 2005 when they first met, with Cassie being 19 and Diddy 35. Initially signing with Bad Boy Records to pursue her music career, Cassie found herself entangled in a toxic, substance-fueled, and predatory relationship with a man much older and influential. Despite Cassie's initial aversion to the idea of a relationship with someone significantly older, Diddy allegedly assumed a paternal role in her life, inserting himself into her personal space, including her 21st birthday party. He reportedly exercised control by reprimanding her for socializing late and, by 2007, allegedly began drugging her. Court documents also suggest that Diddy manipulated Cassie's career by offering enticing opportunities in exchange for unwavering obedience and loyalty, essentially granting him full control over her personal and professional life. As per legal records, those in proximity to Cassie and Diddy frequently bore witness to Diddy's violent tendencies directed at Cassie. However, a pervasive fear of Diddy silenced any potential whistleblowers. This brings to mind a recorded incident where a confidant of Diddy recounted how Cassie adopted a particular hairstyle. Initially perceived as a venture into a new, edgy style, seemingly incongruent with her usual demeanor, it was all appeared harmonious. Subsequently, it came to light that Cassie's adoption of that hairstyle wasn't a personal choice. Rather, it was a dictate from Diddy. Cassie's compliance revealed a troubling level of control and manipulation exerted by Diddy. It's not customary for a partner to arbitrarily instruct the drastic alteration of one's appearance, and Cassie's unquestioning acquiescence painted a vivid picture of the power dynamics at play. This incident is indicative of Diddy's pervasive manipulation and gaslighting, fostering a belief in Cassie that she must adhere to every whim he conceived. Court documents expose another disconcerting facet, detailing Diddy's alleged involvement in trafficking Cassie. Diddy purportedly coerced Cassie into engaging in acts of voyeurism, where she performed specific actions with other men in Diddy's presence. These acts were orchestrated to gratify Diddy's desires. A specific instance described a scenario where, under the influence of drugs and concealed behind masquerade masks, Cassie was directed by Diddy to engage in explicit acts with a hired man while he observed. Despite Cassie's objections, Diddy allegedly continued organizing these rendezvous, labeling them as freak-offs or foes. He tasked Cassie with coordinating the meetings, even specifying the hiring of male participants. According to legal records, these foes occurred frequently, sometimes as often as weekly, with all participants, including Cassie and Diddy, heavily under the influence. Diddy consistently supplied copious amounts of drugs to Cassie and the male actors involved. Shockingly, during some of these encounters, Diddy purportedly became so intoxicated that he resorted to physical violence against Cassie in the presence of others. Adding to the distress, despite Cassie's attempts to erase any evidence, Diddy allegedly insisted she retain videos and images for his gratification. This disturbing revelation sheds light on how explicit content of Cassie came into the possession of 50 Cent. In 2010, 50 Cent allegedly received explicit material depicting Cassie engaging in intimate acts with men and forwarded them to Diddy. Diddy's nonchalant response led 50 Cent to believe that Diddy was already aware of, and perhaps even complicit in Cassie's actions. Consequently, 50 Cent concluded that Cassie's behavior was influenced by her association with Diddy. And the other men are cackling like fools. Another individual remarked, "Diddy is repulsive." Essentially, he strategically placed evidence to blackmail her and potentially facilitate her involvement with other men in the industry. He was well aware that he had dispatched those photographs. What does a young woman like Cassie appear to be while sleeping with these unsavory older men? He is repugnant. Now, 50 Cent has always had a feud with Diddy because he perceives Diddy as a repulsive power seeker. Narcissist 50 has criticized Diddy's actions multiple times for sacrificing others to advance in the music industry. Despite Diddy and Biggie being close associates, Diddy didn't want Biggie overshadowing him, so he had to act swiftly and put an end to it. Nevertheless, Diddy continued to capitalize on Biggie's legacy for decades in the guise of honoring his fallen comrade. It reached a point when 50 had simply had enough of Diddy's affectation concerning Biggie. After the release of yet another track, sampling Biggie's sound, 50 Cent called out Diddy, stating, "This is becoming disrespectful." This song doesn't truly evoke Biggie in any way, except for featuring the puffy background dancing and ad-libs intro that nearly ruin a good song. While we cannot verify whether Diddy actually orchestrated the hit that ended Biggie's life, it does seem peculiar that someone as close to Diddy as his bodyguard would publicly say such dreadful things about him if they weren't. So Diddy engaging in all that, after allegedly having a hand in Biggie's death, is the epitome of manipulation. And if it appears that Uncle Ron is simply a disgruntled former employee seeking attention, then brace yourself for Jaguar Wright's perspective on Diddy sacrificing others. According to Jaguar Wright, it is not a coincidence that everyone who co-founded Uptown Records with Diddy somehow ended up deceased or on the brink of death, under highly mysterious circumstances. She cited Albie Shore, Heavy D, Andre Harrell, and Kim Porter, all of whom co-founded Uptown Records with Diddy. Except for Albie Shore, all of them are now deceased. Even more astonishing is the fact that, according to Jaguar Wright, these individuals all passed away while in the process of writing a tell-all book about their lives and careers, which would naturally involve Diddy. So they either slipped into a coma and died, or, in the case of Kim Porter, who was also Diddy's ex, contracted an illness and succumbed to pneumonia. Meanwhile, initial police reports purportedly asserted that her death was a homicide and that her autopsy revealed toxins in her body. Many individuals believe Diddy directly caused Kim Porter's demise because he allegedly ordered her casket weeks before her passing. Additionally, her sudden contraction of an illness and death from pneumonia raises suspicions because at least her children and close friends would have been aware of her pneumonia before it escalated to the point of fatality. One person expressed, "I genuinely believe P. Diddy harmed that woman. It's so disheartening because that's the mother of his sons. Seriously, come on." Another stated, "I never believed for a second that Kim had pneumonia and died from it. She was a model for over 20 years. There's no way she wasn't aware of her body." The level of cunning and callousness required to meticulously plan the demise of one's child's mother over an extended period is truly incomprehensible. Diddy's alleged involvement in such sinister schemes may elucidate why Cassie found it nearly impossible to break free from his clutches over the span of a decade. Legal records indicate that whenever Cassie endeavored to sever ties, Diddy reportedly deployed his network to track her down, effectively luring her back into his web. There's a disturbing incident on record where he purportedly acquired the entire security footage of a hotel, the site of an altercation between him and Cassie, even when she sought solace in a budding romance with Kid Cudi. Jealousy purportedly drove Diddy to the point of vandalizing Kid Cudi's car. It raises suspicions whether the act was aimed at eliminating his rival in a seemingly accidental manner, showcasing the extent of Diddy's malevolence. Yet, his malevolent actions were not confined to the women in his life, but extended to the men as well. Jaguar Wright alleges that Diddy frequently hosts gatherings where young men in the industry are invited and subjected to abuse in exchange for financial gain and fame. A particularly shocking instance involves a young artist discovered performing for Diddy in his office, as disclosed by Jaguar Wright in an interview. Furthermore, she asserts that at these gatherings, notable figures like Will Smith partake in various explicit activities with other men. Diddy has openly admitted to introducing underage artists like Usher to the adult lifestyle. Recall the instance when Diddy invited Fabulous to one of his all-male parties. Fabulous later revealed that the atmosphere was so charged with eroticism that he had to fabricate an excuse to leave. Observing the unfolding events, fans are inclined to believe that Diddy may indeed be guilty of the accusations against him. Recent legal actions by Cassie, accusing Diddy of harassment and abuse, seem to align with Jaguar Wright's earlier claims. Some eagerly anticipate Diddy's downfall, drawing parallels with the karma that befell R. Kelly. It's a waiting game for justice to catch up with him. Surprisingly, Diddy managed to evade scrutiny during the Meme 2 movement, but the tide seems to be turning. The revelations surfacing in recent months suggest that karma may finally be catching up with him, much to the satisfaction of those seeking justice for Cassie and the late Kim Porter. Speculation persists that the public's perception of Diddy only scratches the surface of his clandestine actions, a notion that, surprisingly, doesn't seem far-fetched. Earlier this year, Diddy initiated the process of restoring music rights to his Bad Boy Records artist, settling outstanding payments as necessary. Interestingly, despite the substantial claims in Cassie's civil lawsuit, one might have anticipated Diddy countering with a defamation suit. However, that was not the case. Surprisingly, within a mere 24 hours of Cassie filing the lawsuit, Diddy and his legal team opted for an out-of-court settlement. While the exact settlement amount remains undisclosed, speculation suggests it's a considerable sum. Speculations also circulate that Cassie had previously rejected a $30 million offer from Diddy to maintain silence about their relationship and avoid legal action. How much more contentious would the situation have become if it had gone to court? Supporters on X seem to concur, expressing sentiments like, "Cassie's settlement amount must be truly remarkable." Applause for Cassie is in order. Diddy, who initially accused her of extortion, swiftly transitioned to a settlement within 24 hours. His actions go beyond merely complying with her claims. The prompt settlement implies an acknowledgement of guilt on Diddy's part. The speed at which he resolved this raises eyebrows. The ability to dispense such a settlement while retaining influence is remarkable. What conclusions can be drawn from all this? Do you align with Jaguar's accusations against Diddy, portraying him as a facilitator for Hollywood elites? Or is there an alternative perspective that warrants consideration? Share your thoughts in the comments. That concludes today's discussion, and we'll catch up with you next time.